Sedgemoor Live.
On the station made in Bridgwater.
Sedgemoor FM.
Hi, I'm Abby from Sedgemoor FM and I'm here with Becky today from Dryad Gin. So, Becky, what made you start up Dryad Gin?
Well, looking back, I wonder what was going on in my own head at that point, but I actually started with the death of my mother. She was a great gin drinker and she had this wonderful ability to bring people together.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do something that involved bringing people together in a positive space.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I'd ever been interested in than my day job was gin. I was fascinated in how they made it. You know, how do you do that process?
Yeah.
So I literally went on a gin making course, like
Oh, wow.
a 7-day immersive how to make gin for complete people that knew nothing about it. So that's kind of what started it all off.
So is that your role within the business? Do you make the gin?
I do.
What else do you do with your gin?
Well, I kind of think, in a way, it's not about the gin. It is about the gin.
Yeah.
But we started this little pop-up pub on the Quantocks because our nearest pub had closed. And I had this idea that maybe I could bring the local community together and gin might be part of that process.
Yeah.
So we started the pop-up pub not really knowing whether it would take off, and it did.
Oh, wow.
And we've run 9 in the past year, and then wherever a pub is closed, we've kind of gone and opened one up, and if the pub reopens, we then stop. So it is about bringing people together, and that feels like what the gin is about. I mean, it's also about the countryside. You know, we take people on botanical walks and connect them with the Quantocks and get them to look at where our sort of natural botanicals are.
Yeah.
So I create the recipes, but I don't own a huge still, so I have to borrow other people's stills to make the gin.
Oh, well, looking back on since you first started, what would you say has been the highlight since you've opened your gin business?
Gosh, I do remember that the day of the launch of the gin, and I looked around the room and I sort of saw, you know, friends, family, everyone was like smiling back at me, and that was a real special moment, you know. And we had Dryad and Druid are very similar in the name and some of the history, so we wanted the Druids to be part of that opening as well, and having them present was also very special because I felt it was like an honouring to the nature, to the spirits that we're working with.
Oh, and that sounds like you've had so many fantastic opportunities with your pop-up hubs. Would you say you've faced a lot of challenges, like starting up a new business?
I really went into this with just a bit of spirit of wanting to do something different. I never realised how complicated it was. I mean, the licensing is one thing that I was never prepared for, all those layers of licenses that you need. And then just trying to post a bottle of gin to someone. I'd never realised that was such a complicated process. I thought you just stuck it in a box, put a label on it. But our postal system is so challenged at the moment that things weren't getting where they should be. We can't send gin abroad because if you're a very small supplier, you aren't able to buy into those big parcel companies. And just that, we live in the middle of nowhere, so we're still without mobile signal. We've still got really dodgy internet. So trying to run a business from home when you do live rurally on the Quantocks is difficult. And storage of gin, trying to get, because you can't just store it anywhere. It has to be in a proper facility. So all of those layers of things were challenges, and financial. Gin is incredibly expensive to make.
I can imagine.
And that's why it costs so much when you buy artisan gin.
Ideally, in say 5 years, how are you hoping to overcome some of these challenges?
Gosh, well, I think there's such a lot going on in the world at the moment. I struggle to think 5 years ahead. I think it's good when you work with such a lot of uncertainty everywhere to try and be as fluid as possible rather than as fixed and I want to do this and I want to be this. So I try really hard to be much more movable and feel that I want to see what's happening on my doorstep. I want to see how I can contribute to something and support something locally. And that's kind of where my head is. My head is about community and gin. It's not so much about a global market. However, we did just win gold.
Oh, in what, may I ask?
In the International Gin Awards. So very excited about that. So we're doing well on the taste kind of front, and people saying this is amazing. What we really want now is to be running some really nice cocktail bars or gin bars at events, and hopefully keep the pop-up pub going, and maybe extend that to places that have lost their pub but want to kind of connect as a community.
And how can people find out more about you and like getting involved in your pop-up pubs, or perhaps even sourcing your gin?
Oh, they're welcome to come and be a volunteer. We do have a particularly good evening, I would say. So they can volunteer and come and work in one of the pop-up pubs. So that's all community driven. And they can find us on Instagram as Dryad Gin. They can find us on Facebook as Dryad Gin, or they can go to our website. If they just type in Dryad Gin into Google, I noticed it's quite high on the list, which is nice.
Oh, good.
So, or hopefully they'll come to one of our events.
Yeah.
Certainly the pop-up pubs, we run quite a regular time. They might want to come on a botanical walk.
Yeah.
But I would like to feel that people had lots of ways that they could connect with us.
Yeah.
Even if they don't like gin.
No, yeah.
It would be great, because I think it's bigger than that.
Yes. Oh, well, thank you so much for speaking with me today, Becky. It's been lovely to hear from you, and I wish you the best of luck with all your gin adventures.
Oh, thank you, Abby. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you.